All right, hey everybody, back with another news feed here for you. This one, we're starting off with a story that a lot of us can relate to. A lot of people out there suffering from this, but it says right here from Torque News, my Ford F-150's lost so much value, 20K in negative equity since Ford decided to tank the brand due to reliability and cutting corners. It's not just Ford, and it's not about due to reliability and cutting corners. Okay, this guy's pissed, and I understand he's upset, but that's not why. It's just there's you got to read between the lines. I do feel bad for this guy, and there's a lot of people in this condition that we're going to look at, but it is not because of brand due to reliability and cutting corners, although Ford has definitely got some reliability and corner cutting issues. So, but that's not what, he's pissed, and he's got to, we live in a world where you got to blame somebody else, and that's okay. And I get it. He's in this position, but it says there's some interesting takeaways in here. Okay, it says right here, you are not alone if you are underwater in the red with negative equity on your Ford F-150 pickup or SUV. Okay, the average the average trade-in during third quarter of 2024 carried an all-time record amount of negative equity, with the borrower underwater an average of $6,500, up 11% for a year earlier, according to Edmunds. Okay, now again, it's not just a F-150. Let's look at this guy's story. Okay, it says right here, this F-150 owner is 20 grand in the red. This Reddit user, okay, and again, there are many people like him. I'm not pointing a finger at him at all. Many people went through this, but he said he bought a Ford F-150 that he overpaid for the truck, $70,000. Okay, so there it is right here. He said it right here. I overpaid. He overpaid for the truck. He spent 70 grand on it. He had a 3.85 rate and a $1,080 a month payment for 75 months, financed through a credit union. Good for him for going through a credit union, and that's a pretty dang good rate given the circumstances at the time. So that's not bad at all. Did he say what year it is? He didn't say what year it was in there. It might later on, but anyway, he says his F-150 now has 58,000 miles on it. He wants to trade it in, but he's probably stuck with the F-150 for quite a while. Here's his story. His words. He says, my F-150 has lost so much value, 20 grand in negative equity, since Ford has decided to tank the brand, reliability, quarter cutting, blah, blah, blah. I want to buy a house soon, but my monthly payment of $1,080 is killing my debt-to-income ratio. That's a huge hit, debt-to-income ratio. And I've been there, trying to buy a house, and all of a sudden you go to get a mortgage, and they say, your debt-to-income ratio is too high. You got to get rid of this, you got to do this stuff. He's in a bad spot. He can't do that. It's, again, I have zero hits on this guy for this. Many people are in the same scenario. Other than giving it back to the bank and saying to hell with it, are there any other options, he's asking. Okay, many people are doing that. Repos are at an all-time high. Okay, just for that exact reason. People are upside down, $20,000 in. They got ridiculously high payments that they can't deal with anymore, and they don't have any way out. So their option is give it back to the bank and say the hell with it. That's what he's saying right here. Says, I'm living paycheck to paycheck, eating as cheaply as I can, so paying more every month isn't an option. It's also, it was a great decision at the time to buy the truck because I was full-time RVing, but I don't need the truck anymore and tired of the mortgage payment on it. It is like a mortgage payment. Can I trade it in, lease it on something else, blah, blah, blah. I'm upside down 125%. Okay, it goes on to say there's many more people like that. And I'm not going to pick apart what he's done here or anything that he did, because like I said, many people did during those supply shortages and the times when vehicles were hard to come by and every dealer was marking it up and all that kind of stuff. It made for a bad thing, but he said it right here. He overpaid for the truck. When you overpay for the truck, you end up in the red when you go to get rid of it. No doubt about it. But let's look at some of the other things they say in here. A report from Automotive News suggests that mid-size SUVs made up 20% of the trade-ins with negative equity. Okay, that's pretty good. 17% of underwater vehicles were compact SUVs. 10% of negative equity vehicles were trucks. Trucks hold their value much better. Okay, report said 22% of buyers with negative equity were more than $10,000 underwater in their existing loan. We've talked about this in other videos. Okay, it's pretty bad. Said 7.5% of consumers with trade-ins were more than $15,000 in the red. That hurts. We will suffer from this for a very long time. Okay, this is not a good sign, and people are in trouble. Ford F-150 owner likely paid too much for his truck 2 years ago, so it's 2 years old. When inventory levels were low, prices were high. He also took out a 75-month loan. He got crushed. Many of us got crushed. Many people were hurt pretty bad in this scenario that happened. Here's the average negative equity for average, across the board, average, not max, average. You can see it, 2019 was 5,200, okay, 5,000, 42, 45. And look at it now. Look at right now. People that bought a couple of years ago, again, negative equity. Look at this. We are at $6,500 on average. It's insane. That's a lot of money. Look at that climb from 2021 where we were sitting pretty good to look at this. Okay, 2021 was also a great time to be, car values were sky high. Okay, but look at this now. Look at what it's doing here. It's not pretty. Not pretty at all. They give advice if the person has negative equity. One option is to wait to buy another car until you have positive equity on the one you're still paying for. Okay, obviously. Another solution is to sell the car yourself. You can definitely get better than you can on trade. Thousands and thousands of dollars more selling it yourself. But usually you got to pay it off first, or it's going to be very hard with the titling situation in many places. Ask the dealer how they can handle negative equity if you decide to go ahead with a trade-in. Read the contract carefully. Okay, in other words, will they roll over negative equity? It gets very tricky because now you're just in the same boat all over again. You can negotiate your new loan the shortest amount of time that you can afford, especially if the negative equity is rolled over into the new loan. Okay. Another one a lot of people don't think about too is you can usually roll that negative equity into a lease for 3 years on a very cheap leased vehicle. Now you at least have transportation, and by the time the 3 years is up, you've ate up your negative equity by paying it over the time of that lease, and you still have a car to drive. Okay, so there are options and ways. But anyway, there's the interesting part of this one, and this guy's not alone. Like I said, there's a lot of people in the same situation. Moving on from there, the Jeep Cherokee. Okay, not the Grand Cherokee, but the Cherokee, my beloved Trailhawk. I love that Trailhawk I had. Well, it is coming back. They have confirmed it at the LA Auto Show that the Cherokee will return in 2026. It will have hybrid power. They are going to run this thing on the STLA large architecture frame again on here, but a unibody. But the last one was unibody too, and the Trailhawk version was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. Absolute billy goat. Now, we don't know what's going to happen with this. We know that it is going to come with a few different powertrain options, probably a turbocharged 1.6-liter hybrid powertrain, maybe some EVs down the road, some other things. We'll see what happens with this, but I like what we're seeing. This is the Wagoneer-esque trail concept that they're talking about here. This is not we don't know what the Cherokee will be like. Okay, it's just a guess. But we know the Cherokee's coming back. This is also the Wagoneer-esque Trailhawk concept. If they make a smaller version of this as a Cherokee one, it would be pretty sweet. Look at that. Okay, good looking truck. You can see it right here. It's got that same kind of attitude to tow hooks. It's got the punch. It's got what we're looking for. Right now, they're saying that when this thing gets made in 2026, they say it will fit between a Compass and a Grand Cherokee, both in size and price. Nice. We like knowing that. They told it will come in a standard four-wheel drive capability, reinforcing its adventure spirit. However, we would like to see a more budget. I don't care about the front-wheel drive, but anyway, they say it will come in, according to what they're saying, it will be a Sport, a Latitude, a Limited, and it says an off-road oriented Trailhawk model could arrive later, potentially incorporating many styling cues and features teased on the Wagoneer Trailhawk concept, which is what we're seeing right here. So we shall see. It looks like it's coming back, and production is set to start literally a year from right now, end of 2025. This thing is supposed to be going and hit actually earlier, because this should be at dealerships Q4 of 2025. We'll be excited to see what they do with it, how it pans out, what the game plan is. Got potential. Let's just see what it does. Last thing on our list right here, cutting it in real quick here, GM just added 132,000 heavy-duty pickups, HD pickups. These are going to be your 2500, 3500, your Silverados and Sierras. Recall for tailgate that can open unexpectedly. It has to do with water that can get in there. It says right here. to recall for tailgate release switches. It can short circuit and open a tailgate while the trucks are parked. Water can get in there, boom, shorts the plug out, tailgate drops down. Okay, and now there's a total. They've already recalled the 323 total, 323,000 of these now. With this, that have gotta be corrected. Small little deal, nothing major, nothing to get alarmed at, but it is something to know about. We got another recall, and if you own one of these trucks, you're probably gonna want to get this checked out, get stuff sorted on. So, all right, any comments, questions you got? Put them down below. Thanks for watching.